Warning, if you're faint of heart or easily offended, this show is not for you.
I don't give a damn about what you saying, bitch, you in the way. Closed case, my nigga beat the charges like yesterday. In your face, I'ma go hard and make sure you see the cake. Keep the pace, ain't no one fucking with me, this not a race. Doing the shit that I want, I'm never gonna stop, I'm never gonna give in. Making my way to the top, I told you to ride, I told you to get in. Now you can't eat out my pot, it's filled to the top, and I'm about to dig in. You say I was doing you wrong.
Welcome to the No Preparation Podcast.
All perspiration, no preparation.
Oh, Jesus. What's up? What's up, Adam?
What's going on, Adam?
Yeah, no, we didn't do last week. You had a little situation you need to take care of. And we've been a little inconsistent so far in 25. That's our job. We're just like...
It's an odd number, bro. It's an odd year. It's an odd number.
In 25, we're just going to be like, hey, we're having a show. Fuck it. No, we're not having a show. Whatever.
It's a play by ear.
I know, right? We're gonna get our shit straight here real quick. We just little shit happens here, and then I can't be on. Little shit happens, on.
I can't be on. Yeah,
life happens sometimes, so we have to skip one every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad behavior on our part. We'll admit it.
Well, I mean, it's just like a breeding of a female.
That's right.
You don't want to force it.
You're talking about women, dogs.
Oh, dogs. This is a bully broadcast, fucking podcast. So
I was like, what the fuck? Oh, what's up,
Lorenzo?
What's up? Yeah. So 21 people, we only got 2 people comment so far. Oh, it's on a delay though. That's right. So it takes a minute. Someone told me like they'll comment, and I think it takes us like a minute or so to actually respond.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, there's like a big delay for some reason. Got the YouTubers on. These are all YouTubers so far. Oh, I wonder if my shit's broke. I better go check and make sure we're live.
What?
On Facebook. Because so far all our comments have just been YouTube.
I see it. There's 12 on your 12 on your page.
Okay.
8 on YouTube.
Perfect. Okay. So what's up? All the comments are all YouTube. That's the only thing that got me. Make sure. Maybe people can't YouTube comment. There's one. Okay, we're good. Because shit's got me like paranoid because it just randomly breaks every once in a while.
Yeah.
And then let's see, what's the topic tonight? Well, I know we're gonna get into
Pick one.
I didn't say, hey Siri, shut up. Yeah, pick a topic. I do want to talk about. You went to Rumble. I want to talk about Rumble because I didn't get
Rumble in the jungle. That's right. Yes, Adam, we can see it.
Now, was it as wild as last year?
Hello, Hannah. It was a very packed house.
Yeah.
It was I still had as much trouble getting my dog to the bathroom as I did last year.
Yeah.
And that's how I judge attendance. How fast I can get from my booth to the fucking door. Same time.
Same spot.
Exactly across from our original spot. So yeah, it still took a few minutes to get from the booth to the exit door.
Hello, Miss Hannah.
To potty some dogs. So I would say that is the make of a successful event.
I would say. If
me and my dog are like tiptoeing, trying to go to the bathroom, yeah, it's a successful event. So,
so you need a booth near the ring and the door, which there's where we were the year I went. It wasn't too bad. I mean, it was only like 10 booths from the door, wasn't it? Something like that.
Something like that, yeah. But still, that
was
crowd
right at the end of the ring.
Yeah, the crowd is intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hannah. A lot of people cleaned up. A lot of the Midwest cleaned up. You know, Midwest. You know, then John flew in and brought his micro Mellow. Who took the micro class, and Mountain, owned by Kenny Lee, took the sanctioned Best in Show. Ox took champ class. So I mean, it was our two booths were the ones to be at because both tables were filled with trophies.
Sounds like who we expected, basically. Then
Yeah,
those were all pretty well known names at this point.
yeah. Brad and Wishbone cleaned house as well.
Yes,
Very well.
yes. Congratulations, Brad.
Oh,
Renting massage. They can
no,
rent.
you don't even need you need what are they, like a masseuse, like just strictly feet. That's all you need. Because my toes, it's funny because Jim was like, bro, how could you stay out? So okay, I like shoes, but I'm not like a fucking shoe geek. Like
Right.
I just see a pair that I like and I buy them. I don't care if they're like Air Jordans or Air Force, whatever the fuck. I have no idea what they are. I just see a shoe I like, I buy it. So Jim's like, bro, I can't believe you're wearing those. They're supposed to hurt your feet, or like everyone says they hurt your feet. I can't believe you've been wearing them all day. And I'm like, no, they're I'm good, bro. But the moment he fucking said that, 1 minute later, my feet started fucking killing me. Killing me.
That's funny.
Yeah. Jordan ones, yeah, I had some J's on. And he's like, dude, how can you wear those? I'm like, I'm good, bro. And then he turns around and walks away. I'm like, actually, my feet fucking hurt.
I know mine were hurting last year. Oh, I guess that's a brand, Reflexology.
Ah,
maybe look it up.
Something to look into.
Hand and nose.
But it was a good show. It was a good show. A lot of really nice dogs came out to get what they were after, and in my opinion, you know, a lot of dogs left home, rightfully so. So that's feet massage. What did I call it?
I don't know. He said Kenny had steel toes on the whole time.
Yeah, Kenny's a wild man.
Well, that's just part of being prepared for any situation. Steel toes.
For the riot squad.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I get you.
Get you down and kick the shit out of you.
What's up, Richard? No, it was a great turnout. Tons and tons and tons of dogs. Top-notch trophies. Flowed really well.
What's up?
I feel like we were out at a realistic time, considering how much was going on, you know, because there was a ton of stuff going on.
I'm just trying to keep up with the comments. They're fast and furious tonight.
I mean, you saw dogs you didn't think you'd ever see. You saw people, and Medina probably feels left out, but people walking around with their monkeys on their shoulders, snakes, reptiles. Yeah, it was a dog show, exotic animal, you know.
It is a little bit of everything. I'll give it that.
Yep. You had your everyday American citizen, and then you had your very eccentric people. It was just like the animals there, it was a mix of people there. You know, you had like very serious handlers that show, like AKC, UKC bring their dogs. You know, you had golden retrievers in the ring. You had, bro, yeah, it was crazy. But and it's what to be expected. The one event out of the year targeted for dogs, you're gonna see those kind of, you're gonna see everybody show up.
Somebody wanted to know what the hairless bully there.
Did I get one? I did not get one.
Was it there at the show?
Yes, they were there. The hairless Frenchies were there as well. There was it was a little bit of everything was there.
That I have a hairless cat. All right, and I think, and let me tell you what, 2:30 in the morning, you're watching TV, all the lights are out, and then all of a sudden, a hairless cat pops its head up above the couch and looks at you, and you're like, I mean, there's more than a couple times I'll be like, what the hell is that? It's that cat.
Freaky. So yeah, look right here. A cat won a trophy at a dog show. I mean, you can't make this shit up. It is literally the jungle. Anything happens. Anything can happen. I should have brought my chihuahuas.
Yeah, because I mean,
that'd have been cool.
It doesn't technically say it's a dog show, does it? It just says Rumble in the Jungle.
Yeah. So. And they meant it, like Brian said, all breed category. Oh yeah, before I forget, shout out to Abby Wright taking the best junior at Rumble in the Jungle. So yeah, she's a Midwest native. So Midwest came out there strong.
I don't eat no mushrooms. I ain't got time for that shit. The other night I went to bed at 3, woke up at 5, and I was like, I guess I'm up. That was it. What trophies was won by the cat? Somebody wanted to know what the cat was. Least hair.
I'm not sure.
Should have brought a prairie dog. Yeah, you know what? I don't think I've ever seen one of those in real life. That would have been cool. What's Ramos' file pick? Someone says, love
What's up, Phil?
File pick. I don't know. Oh.
It's Kelsey and Poom Poom.
Poom Poom.
That was what, a few years ago, huh?
Yeah.
That's a few years old.
Yeah, Ramos is like me. He takes pictures of his dogs when they're like a year old and then never takes any more.
Yeah.
I'm like, how old is my dogs now? Maybe I should get some new pictures.
That is a rated mature comment, Mr. Ramos.
Best hairless, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, best blue.
Last year.
Gambit won.
Yeah.
That's a Midwest dog. I don't even remember. I didn't put Cowboy in anything last year, so I was too busy stacking in front of my table to even know what the fuck was going on.
I was gonna say that's the biggest thing. Like, you technically don't have to put your dog in nothing. You just walk out in front of your booth.
Bro, I got so much attention just sitting in my booth with Cowboy at my feet. You know? I mean, like, I had to time getting him outside to where when I saw, like, a clear path, I grab him and haul ass and get stopped every 20 feet. Like, you can follow me outside, bro. He's going to piss everywhere. So it was definitely the show to go to network and market your dog, to build your platform, talk to people, see dogs in person.
Yeah, what they say they had last year was like 8,000 people or something like that.
I don't know, but it's definitely in the thousands.
I can't remember what it was. It was ridiculous. That's a giant ass building, and it was full. Puppy, damn it. Conversation ring, really appreciate it. Oh, Brian. Okay. Oh, hello.
What's up, Vanessa?
In the house. What time is it in Australia? Must be, what, 10 o'clock in the morning or something? 10 or 11 o'clock. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. So yeah, it seems like it turned out because I think Jim and Hannah went to Rumble this year, or was it just
No,
Jim?
just Jim. Just Jim.
Can't stay home. I was close.
Mr. Lee made an appearance.
Yeah, that's good. You need to get out a little bit.
I mean, you had representation from the majority of registries. You know, ABKC was there, BRC was there, GRC, ABR, USBR, I believe, was there, ICBR.
Now
You
you're
had
people, or you're talking about the actual registry. You had booths.
people associated with those registries were all there.
Sure. I like that would have been wild if that was the case.
Yeah, see?
There you go.
It's definitely the place to go. I am not going to Australia. Unfortunately, someone has to tend the herd. So,
What are you talking about? Oh, you mean on Facebook? Yeah, I've been busy. We did miss last week's show, but no, on Facebook in general, I have not been. Like, people message me for like breedings and stuff. I get right back to them, but I don't post much anymore. What am I going to do? Han, you got to go to Australia because Roger's not going to, so you can go.
well, no, I think she's asking because a certain somebody got assigned to go to Australia.
Signed?
Yeah, Samantha.
Oh, for a show. Well, that means you don't get to go because someone's got to
Exactly what I was trying to explain to Vanessa.
go.
Someone's got to stay home and tend to the herd.
That's right.
But you know, I get my fair share. I'm going to the Philippines next year.
Yeah,
I'm going to the Philippines next year. I have to.
it sounds like a nice place to go, food-wise, for sure. That's how pretty much I rate every place. Like, if I want to go there, is whether their food's any good.
Yeah. Sandina, that's funny.
Send Dina. What we need to do is get Dina to be a judge, and then we can ship her all over the place. But
I think that's nuts.
she's like, well, I picked that dog because it's cuter.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, we just
Yeah.
that's what we'll do, and we
Me
just
too.
have Samantha go live.
I told her to take her time. When do you get the opportunity to go? You know, it's not very often.
I know. No, really. Yeah. Once you chance, you got the. I don't know. It's just the thought of the plane ride because I don't remember how many hours it is, but it's a lot of them.
I think in total, it's like 20 hours, 21 hours for her.
Flight?
So,
And
yeah. I think it's 15 from LA, but LA from here is 6. So that's just 21 hours, 30,000 feet in the air. Then you have, your time at the airport, so.
That's right. Right there, Dina. You get a trophy and you get one. Yes, exactly. They wouldn't have enough trophies for you.
Make sure Dina is the last judge so she can only give out a certain amount of trophies. She'd give everyone in the ring a trophy.
Yeah.
For the first category.
Yeah. Well, she'd be probably good for fun show judge.
Oh, Mr. Ramos wants to get on here.
Oh no.
How are you fitting this gap between our two windows?
We got gaps?
Between our two images.
No.
You don't see a gap? I do.
There's like a little tiny space.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, he ain't gonna fit in there.
His mustache won't.
He might be.
That's for sure.
He ain't that skinny. Let me see here. Hold on. We'll bring. All right, Raymond.
Since he was a judge for the Rumble,
listen, Ramos. Don't stay in the chat and complain you haven't got invited yet, go to your messages and see that you got the link. Remember last time it was like 20 minutes later, he's like, come on, let me in.
Let me in.
You had the link for 20 minutes, dude. Oh. Yes, Hannah should go. Make Hannah go to Australia.
Oh, that'd be fun.
She can leave Jim home.
Yeah. That in itself
seems fair. What's up?
Rumble for Australia.
Yeah.
But no, it's I told her, like, take your time, be out there, enjoy yourself. Because when I go to the Philippines, it's at least a week and a half.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Ramos.
What's up, gentlemen?
Oh,
you catch up on your rest?
Man, I tell you what, man, that was a long damn day, bro. Man, June had us in there at 7 a.m. He wanted us after, so everybody got there, and we didn't get out until about 11. And I didn't get a chance to get over to you. I wanted to go over real quick and give you a quick hug and wish you well, but you were gone.
That.
Yeah, I don't blame you though. It was a long day.
I mean, according to James Abba, I was wearing the wrong shoes all day, and he was correct. He was correct.
There's not a right pair of shoes. Don't get me wrong, man. I've been doing these shows forever, and I've been to long shows, and that was long. It was like 16 hours. I've judged just as many or more dogs, and we didn't start till about 12, and we didn't end till about 11. But overall, it was a lot of fun. I was happy to see the different registries there, especially a lot of my people that I've been good friends with for many years. Jim, yourself, and a lot of other people that were there. But it was a good time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it definitely was. It definitely was.
We just needed Roger to be there, but he's acting shy.
Yeah,
he's a working man.
I'm antisocial. I was recovering antisocial. Now I'm back full-fledged antisocial.
I don't blame you, man. So
I don't talk to my wife anymore. I just sit there.
Don't lie, man. She'll talk to you anyway, man.
No, there ain't no doubt about that.
You'll be sitting there silent. You'll probably have a heart attack sitting there already cold, and she'll be still talking to you.
That's right.
Yeah, that's funny.
She got some stuff.
No, but it was a good time. Overall, it was a lot of people, a lot of fun. I had to break away from the ring a couple times to go over and say hello to these other guys. Because they kept calling us back in, but it was fun. I guess it was good to see a lot of old friends. Gina was there, which I've known Gina for many years.
Mm-hmm.
Jim, it's great to see Jim. He was actually the last person I apprenticed for the ABKC.
Oh, nice.
And there's a whole story behind that. You're gonna have to ask Jim about that one. You're gonna laugh, man. But again, like I said, it was a lot of fun. Did we lose Roger? Uh-oh.
Yeah. He sees something shiny every now and then and gets up, walks off.
Like a crow.
I mean, so you had a say in the 2 best in shows, correct?
Yeah. I on the last one, I'm trying to think now. I did mine. I did a couple of the other ones, and I believe so. Yeah, it was 2 or 3 of them I had to say. So, what it was. They wanted me to go over, but I was so busy, trying to complete because there were so many categories that they were calling me over, but I just couldn't leave one ring, go to the other ring.
Mm-hmm.
So, but overall, it was a good time, because and I think they had some really nice animals there. And like any show, you're gonna have those dogs that are they're mediocre, but overall there was a lot of nice animals there. To have the mountain there was pretty exciting because I've been wanting to see him live, and he's a very impressive animal. I was so blessed to see Cowboy, which I thank you so much for bringing him out.
Of course.
The boy is amazing, man.
Thank
It's
you.
nice. It's so nice to be able to go to shows and see dogs that are off of your lines and so that, because many times I don't get to see these dogs.
Right.
Because a lot of times I don't participate in some of the other registries, but to get an opportunity to see them is nice. And you've done an excellent job of him. He's looking amazing. For you people that don't know, Hans Boy Cowboy is phenomenal dog, man. He's a real nice animal.
Thank you.
And I don't say that, just because, but he really is. And then there was the other dogs that were very impressive was, I believe it was Ox King.
Oh yeah.
Very beautiful animal. There was actually another. I think there was another. I want to say same color dog, but I can't remember what his name was. So he was really nice. Who else? And then there was that monster from Brazil.
Oh yeah, Johnny Bones.
Johnny Bones, man. Oh
Yeah.
my God, dude.
That's an incredible XL.
Oh, dude. It's so funny because I've been blessed to judge in Brazil, and it was so funny because the people that owned the registry there, they had actually came to the United States because they wanted to start a registry here, and I tried to tell them to hold off because I felt they weren't prepared. They didn't have the software to upload and do everything quite yet. And that was Beatrice and Bruno, awesome people. They have their own registry in Brazil, and we had a discussion about those dogs because over there they call them pit monsters.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to help them because they came to me for help, and I wanted them to try to get established here, and we ended up not going through with it because they weren't prepared for what was going to happen, the demands and requirements of quick registering dogs. So with that being said, I try to convince them to change the name because I says, in the United States, a pit monster, that's like a court case waiting to happen.
Yeah.
And I wasn't trying to be derogatory or anything, but I just wanted them to understand, that's kind of a hard name, for around here, because for that matter, in the UK, even, the XLs that are creating all the problems. But that guy was like, that was the freakiest head I've ever seen on a dog, man. I mean, what do you think, Hans? That guy had like a freaking bucket for a head, like a 5-gallon bucket.
I think maybe almost 32-inch head.
They measured him, right?
It was definitely over 31.
Really?
I don't know where. Yeah, it was definitely over 31.
Wow, man.
And he's for an XL, he is bully from nose to tail.
Oh, he is. He's an incredible animal. The one thing I wish that some of these people would do, and I've helped several people with this when they come to me and they ask me for like help with nationals. I've had people come to me and they say, what was the one thing, I'll give you an example. There was a dog named Clydesdale, and Clydesdale was an amazing dog, but he'd run out of gas anytime he took him to show. So the guy came to me and he said, Ron, what do I do with this guy? And so I told him, I said, do you ever exercise? He goes, no, well, no, he sits around the house and, he's a couch potato. I said, you don't realize that these shows are very stressful on dogs. You need to get out there and walk the guy, at least go around the block once.
Right.
So he started doing that, and he went to Vegas and ended up winning the nationals there in Vegas, the ABKC nationals. But, I told him you need extra, and he did it, and he followed through, and he ended up winning. Well, like that guy, as big as he is, they need to do a little, road work so he's not gassed. And I think a lot of people are guilty of that, not taking those dogs out. And, but like you and Roger, you guys have a lot of acreage and you guys let the dog loose and run and exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a big difference, man, when you get the dog to show running, because it's so stressful and the dogs can't manage all that stress, plus all the travel time. So, but I mean, overall though, man, that guy was a freak, man.
Yeah, I feel like it also helps keep the dog loose and limber. You know,
You know,
they're
it does.
used to.
You know, because you know, when you're healthy, the stress doesn't bother you. You know, but as far as loose and limber, I understand what you're saying, but actually, for show dogs, it actually tightens up all the joints, so you don't have a loose moving dog. They look more powerful.
As far also, what? Let me clarify. Like when an athlete warms up, right? Their body is that you just don't want to take your dog off the being stagnant on the couch forever and then try to do a fucking obstacle course.
Right? No, 100%. That's what I'm getting at. And you're right, Hans. These people don't do that. And I'm not saying you got to go out and run a mile every day. I mean, take the damn dog out and walk around the block.
Walk around, yeah.
Yeah, you don't take much. I'm saying. But I want to see him cross with that hairless cat.
Hey, what's up, Chris? It was good seeing you this weekend.
No, I've heard plenty of people talking about the pit monsters, and Dina's like, hey, we could breed to one of those, and I'm like, yeah, but you can't register it. You know what I mean? Because there's no what are you going to register it as? But just trying to incorporate some of those features.
I think you could probably do it, man. If you single register him as an XL, I believe you can do it, Roger. To be honest with you, you just got to show some type of lineage, because they actually have registration papers. I think if you were to get that paperwork and do a single registration, I think you can get them in. And believe it or not, man, they got some. I judge a show for those people in Brazil, right? And I have to say, man, they got some impressive dogs, man. Brazil ain't playing, and a lot of them, how do I say this? A lot of them are actually F1, but the thing is, though, they've done an amazing job in comparison to the rest of the world when they do that. I mean, I could show you pictures of what they call an exotic, and it will blow your mind. Because it's going to be like an American bully on steroids. They've done some really spectacular stuff with what they're doing over there. And I can even show you dogs that are, under 14 inches that are functional and look freaking amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think sometimes, out of the U.S., some of these people take their breedings a little more serious, and they're not hit by greed so much. They do it more for passion. Brazil's got some amazing dogs that are F1s. If you go to Europe, they don't do the F1s, but what they do, whether it be an AKC Amstaff, American Bully, they're very true to the blueprint, and they create some really nice animals, man. I mean, I think they take some of our bloodlines and make them even better.
Speaking of making monsters.
Oh. Miss Moore. It was great hanging out with you this weekend.
Let me see. Okay. What's up? There we go.
What's up, fam?
What's going on? So you still recovering from the show, Mr. Ramos? Or are you
man, I don't get no time to recover, man. I gotta be recovered by the time I get home, man. I gotta come home. Today, for example, today I come in here and I had to come here and catch up, cut the lawn. Although it looks dead, I still gotta go. I had all these leaves, come up, and there's no time to be down, man. I mean, I wish I did, because I'm not gonna kid you, man. After that show, I was beat, man. I mean, thank God I didn't have an early flight. I think a lot of people were pretty wore out after that show, because it was a long show. And there was a lot going on. They had like it was nonstop. And I got to give it to June because, like it says, the tempo never slowed down. It was
Right.
it was continuous. You ask Hans, he was there. He'll tell you that there was never a dull moment. As
No.
far as lull time in the ring, it was a few times, but that's expected. But it was pretty much constantly moving.
Yeah, and he always kept the crowd going. They'd always give away stuff. He was giving away money. He was, yeah,
or spanking them for not behaving.
right.
But
Yeah, there was,
he was on top of it. I'm saying, you got to commend the guy, and he doesn't hire nobody outside help. I mean, there was a few people there doing it, but it was very few people. He doesn't bring a lot of people in to help, and he still
No.
has it, streamlined and flowing pretty good.
yeah, he did.
Yeah, last year, Philip said, planned to be there late. I think last year we were out in the parking lot trying to get everything finished out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what they told me. They told me that they had I guess they ran out of time in the venue and had to go out that finish. But he told us, some try to make this at a good pace, and when we did, we were moving them out pretty quick. And some people may think it was too quick, but that's not so, because when you're a seasoned judge, you can pretty much move things quickly because you know what you're looking at. You think,
Right.
as for myself, when I'm judging, and for those people listening, I start judging as soon as you cross that threshold into the show ring. I don't wait for you to stack. I'm already observing the dog. I'm watching him move, how his behavior. I'm already judging your dog. Especially in a big event, because you have to move pretty brisk. You can't wait around, and hopefully people show up. And the other thing was, I had oh God, I'm gonna draw a blank now. Oh God, Mike Diego, and Mike Diego,
Yeah.
man, he keeps the ring moving. He already knows that he's gonna give you a call. He's gonna give us, he's gonna give a first call, a second call, a third call, and if you don't make it there, it's on you. There was actually one moment where a gentleman was upset because he was in the other ring. But the thing is, though, he didn't notify anybody to hold up the second ring. And he came in, he was upset, and I told him, I'm sorry, but if you would have said something, we would have waited. But nobody told us anything, and the class was already in process. And it was the no hands longest stack, which they do in the fun shows. If it was a confirmation show, I said, yeah, well, jump in the back of the line, or something. But we had already stacked the dogs, and the dogs had already been standing there for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes already, and he wanted to put his dog in there, and I felt that was unfair to the rest of the dogs that had already been standing there. You say, and he had a hard time understanding that, and he said, "Well, I'll stay longer afterwards." I says, "That would have been okay if we would have had a clock, and we could have said, okay, now you have to make up this time." But the thing is, that didn't happen. So, but situation like that will happen no matter what. I'm saying.
Right. Yeah,
Absolutely.
you're right. But it's all a part of throwing a show. You can't make everyone happy as long as the majority is happy.
That's all it is, man. That's a fact, man. I got to commend you too on that young lady. I don't know where she was with your group, junior handler. She was actually did an excellent job. She answered all the questions, and she did a great job, man.
Abby Wright. Her name is Abby Wright.
Okay.
Yeah, she was the #1 junior for the BRC last year.
Oh wow, okay.
And I believe she took the nationals for juniors as well.
Wow, that's pretty awesome, man.
She was top ranked in the ABKC as well last year. So
was that her father? Was that her father with her, with the gentleman with the beard?
No. Her I was her chaperone for that trip.
Okay.
So
brave mother.
I'm glad you said that. Ay.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she's a very accomplished young talent.
We had some questions in here somewhere. Since we got Mr. Ramos here, he can answer them.
Oh, it's not the Mr. Ramos. Come on. All
Oh yeah,
Jesus
Mr.
Christ.
Pitt,
I'm already old as shit. You're already gonna make me feel even older, man.
Mr. Papa.
Oh man,
What's the question? Hey, let's do some questions. Come on.
I don't know. Somebody asked them, and then I lost them. You guys keep bullshitting. I'll find them.
Would you do it again?
I would do it in a minute, man. I really enjoyed it. You know, but the thing is, Lisa, I love the show ring. You know, I love participating. You know, it's so funny because when you ask me this, because believe it or not, there are certain individuals, and I'm not gonna say names. You know, they were kind of looking at me, and they were, you know, this is even before this, you know, stating like, how dare you go there and so that because of the exotics and so that. But you know, it was so ironic because that when I came into the bully community, I got the same thing from the AKC and the UKC. Excuse me, the ABKC. No, the AKC, UKC. I'm sorry, yes, AKC. You know, they looked at me like, "What are you doing, Ron?" Because I was showing with those people for many years, and I told them, you know, I'd rather take a proactive stance than jump in there and train and help versus standing on the sidelines and throw rocks. You know,
Right.
So the same thing applies. I mean, I'm seeing the exotics. Some of them are getting pretty cool looking, man. You're saying they're coming around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're getting there with movement, with straight features. You know,
Well, you know,
less
there's that
bones
little
now.
dog that Rachel handled. That little guy, he ran around the ring like it was nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? She did an excellent job with the guy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm used to being thrown rocks at anyway, so I might as well get up there and do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? And would I do it again? I would do it in a minute. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of fun. I had an opportunity. Go ahead.
Found Brian had some questions for you.
Sure.
Let's see, he wants to know how tall a T-Rex is.
The T-Rex it depends. You know, if you're talking one that's like 2 weeks old or a couple of years ago, you know, they range anywhere from 12 inches to 50 feet.
Whether he remembers, at least.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I had a T-Rex in the ring. I remember my early days when I used to handle them. You know what I'm saying?
He wanted to know, did you grow up in Bedrock?
I was actually in Babrock, which is the town next door, man. So. And then there was a lot of Mexican immigrants there, and then we had to really kind of be sneaky about handling dogs and stuff, and even the T-Rexes,
And I don't think I don't get this. Did you ever work for Mr. Slater?
There you go.
Mr. Slater. People don't even know what you're talking about, Mr. Slater. Oh my God.
That exotic that Rachel was handling is called G-Thing.
G-Thing, yes, and Nick says the little guy can move, man. He did his thing.
A beautiful dog.
Oh man, he's he walked in there like he was no different than anybody else. And she does a great job with him. There was a lot of nice dogs, man. Even the golden retriever and the what was the other one? Was it an Alaskan?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, they would.
Here's your question. Can you read that one, Rayla?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure you can see your questions.
Something you have to understand when you start getting into some of these smaller dogs like the exotics that you are going to lose movement. It's one of those things where you cannot anticipate that animal to move like a gazelle. But I admire your questions. It's a legitimate question, and that doesn't mean that you cannot strive to produce a dog of that stature to have good movement. It's going to be a little cobbier movement, and what I mean by cobbier is that the feet are going to look kind of like choppy as they're moving because they don't have that long extension. So, but they can still move, fluidly without a hop or a little giddy up in their hitch or stiffness. So you can actually do it, but it's not going to be like watching, you know, a pit bull or like a, you know, a bigger dog move, because you're losing all that leg and stuff to make the fluidness, but it's still not going to be a bad moving dog. And this is where some judges don't understand that, and they don't understand that they're not going to move. You know, even when the American Bully first came out into the canine show world, many people were thinking that this animal is supposed to move like a pit bull, and that's an impossibility,
Right.
because it's structurally different animal. You know, the best way I can state it is like watching Usain Bolt sprint versus, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You
Right.
know, they have the same good fluid movement, but one's going to look a little more
Rigid.
cumbersome, rigid,
Right.
cumbersome versus the other. You know, so but it's possible. It's possible to get a dog that's functional, has good hips and everything. You know, and what I tell people all the time, and I think many of them understand, is that it's easier, you know, to create a dog that's erect than it is to create a dog that can perform. You know, structure is not the easiest thing to maintain when you're doing so many, you know, F1 type dogs, because you're picking up traits from all these different animals, so you're not going to get that fluidness, and you may get lucky and get it on the first try, you know. But
Right.
it's one of the things where it's not an easy thing.
Is that the same guy? I don't know. No, it's,
Yep. Yep.
is it? Okay.
Yep.
That makes sense. I was like, what? Let's see. What's the next one? Here we go. Any tips on introducing a 3-year-old dog into the show ring that is never shown?
Man, it's never too late. I will say that, you know. But the best thing to do is start acclimating that dog to noisy environments. I would start taking that dog to, you know, Home Depot, you know, baseball games, whatever it may be, and don't actually get near the crowds as of yet until you get them comfortable with stacking and moving, and then slowly introduce them to groups of people. But make sure that he is safe to be around those groups of people, and have them start to pet him and touch him, so he starts to get comfortable and relax, you know. And then that way you don't take him into a show environment and shock the dog. You know, if anything, you may end up pushing him back, because it might be just too
Right.
much for him for a first time experience. You know, he'll end up being overwhelmed, and you may you know, pretty much set him back, and it takes a long time to get that confidence back in a dog. And that's why when you train dogs, you don't use heavy hands, because it stays with them, and it takes a long time to regain their confidence.
Right. It's better to just quit before you get frustrated
100%, man.
and try again later.
Right.
Always start and end on a positive note.
Always. There you go. I was going to say that. You know, even though you're having a hard time, but a lot of times it's not the dog, it's you. You know, you're the person that you may think you're a patient individual, but a lot of times it's not. So before you get upset and start becoming heavy-handed on the dog, you know, do something he's good at, and then give him reward and stop the training. Because just like Han says, you want to finish on a positive note. You know, it's like when you were a little kid playing baseball. You know, you don't want the coach to yell at you and send you home, because you're going to carry that home with you. You're going to feel terrible, like, you know, God, man, the coach yelled at me. But the coach says, hey, you know, something you did wrong, but I'm on you, because, you know, I know you have great potential. So let's do this, and you finish on whatever it may be, a swing or your football stance, and finish positive. Okay, you did great. Now go home and work on that, but also work on the one you fell short on. You know,
Right.
It works. The principle works with everything in life.
Next question is, if I have a female dog and she's 15 and 7/8, which is basically 16 inches.
Yeah.
Tall but lacks mass, is she a pocket or a classic? Well, she's definitely not a pocket, because she's 16 inches tall. Essentially, that makes her either a standard or a classic.
Well, well, if she's under 16.
Yeah, but 7/8, like, On a given day, if that dog got wicketed, they get stuck in the standard.
I mean, you can go 7/8 is the difference between stacking out here and stacking right here.
Right.
I'm on the phone. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. And not only that, but believe it or not, if it's a dog that's lacking that mass and size, it's already out of their standard.
Right.
So there's a lot of dogs that are tweeners. They're in between the two different categories. But if it's going to be a dog of lacking substance, then it's not going to fit either category. Sad to say.
But even a classic American bully is supposed to have substance.
They are because people don't understand this. You understand this, but when we did the whole thing in the very beginning, when they were writing all the standards up, when they were referring to the classic, they were not referring to the ADBA style classic.
Right.
That's a whole different breed, and people don't understand that. They're called pit bulls, but they're from a different registry. So when we looked at the UKC at that time in the 90s and 2000s, they were dogs with a little more substance and size. So those dogs were even bigger than the written standard for the UKC. You know what I'm saying? So, but they are a thicker dog. You know what I'm saying? So they are supposed to have some size to them.
Mm-hmm.
Adam, yeah, it's 3D printed, bro. That's hard plastic. Yeah, but I tell people, I'm like, put your dog where it fits. Put your dog where it'll excel. Don't put your dog where you think it needs to be. You know what I mean? If you would put it in the ring and the judge would say, it's a pretty nice standard, but it's a little bit lacking. But you could take that same dog and put it in the classic class, and the judge would be like, this is a hell of a classic. You know what I mean?
Right.
Why not put your dog where it fits, where it's going to win? Because at the end of the day, you're going to get that paperwork, and it's going to say champion. Doesn't say champion what?
Right.
Just says champion.
Champion, that's right. And the other thing is, too many people, sad to say, don't take ownership of the dogs. They don't even know what kind of dog they have.
Mm-hmm.
And that should be your first thing to do, is understand what do you have before you get in the ring. And if it takes asking a lot of questions, by all means do it. Because too many people, they don't know their dog. I mean, they literally do not know what they have, or even the behavior. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Omar was asking about lack of diversity due to current shows not as the magnitude as what we seen last week at Rumble. Well, what you have to understand is registries, and this is just registries in general, they focus on specific breeds and specific traits, and that's why they're a little bit scaled down compared to what you'd see at Rumble, because Rumble is just like bring everything.
Right.
It doesn't matter as much as the standard as it matters as this is a community gathering. Bring your dog.
This is just like you said, community gathering. It's basically a fun show, and you're having a great time. And the standards. As a judge in there, I still focus on standards and stuff. But the majority of people there are there just to have a great time and network and try to sell what their wares. But it's not really a sanctioned show, so you cannot put a lot of merit on a fun show type environment.
Let me see here. All right, when I line bred my female to her half brother, that's an inbreed.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's a line bred.
That'll be line bred, yeah, technically. All pups came out micro. That makes sense. You doubling up on genetic traits, and tend to be the more you inbreed, the more you line breed, the smaller they get. They tend to
half brother, half sisters. I would consider that an inbreeding, but
yeah, it's an inbreeding. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna get anytime you guys start to inbreed a lot, you start to lose everything. I mean, I don't mean by everything. I mean you lose substance, size, and bone. You know what I'm saying? It starts getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And you can start with 2 elephants. By the time you get down to inbreeding them so much, you're gonna end up having micro elephants.
Right.
That's
not a bad
why.
thing.
Easier to manage.
Yeah, that's why there's laws against you marrying your cousin and stuff.
Not where I live.
The piles of shit are
I'm glad you said that.
Smaller.
But no, I mean, what's going to get your dogs? I understand, like doing the outcross is going. You're probably going to get taller dogs from it, but not necessarily because of the outcross. Because you're at your well, it is, but you're bringing new genetics in, right?
You are
So
right, and
then,
you're basically cleaning up a lot of stuff. That's why it's very important to get something that's, you know, a good dog to outcross to.
right.
Right.
You understand? If we took the biggest and baddest bullies that we have right now and stuck them on an island and left them alone, and you came back in 50 years, they'd be pit bulls.
Right. Yeah.
That's
Like,
a
I mean,
fact.
it,
That's a
it,
fact.
it wants to revert. It
yeah,
wants to revert to its original form.
it's
You
always
know,
trying to go back.
it's the human intervention is what keeps type and substance in these dogs. If you were to just let them loose and breed them naturally the way they wanted to, they'd revert back to original state. They're not going to know that this pheno and this pheno is a good match.
And
They're
they're going
just
to
going to
be
breed to each other.
and
Just
they're
going to
going to be
breed.
healthier.
See,
Right.
I asked because I wanted to know how much of the rules they bend based off what was said. It's more of a guideline, not an absolute. Well, here's the thing: if you take your dog in a classic class, unless it is just screaming that it's not a classic, more than likely the judge is not going to wicket your dog. If it's a half an inch too short to be a classic, technically, they they may not pull the wicket on you to try to figure it
Well,
out.
the very first judge of every show is the one responsible for wicketing dogs. That
Yep,
sets the tone for all the next judges,
the
right?
senior judge. Yep.
So,
In my experience, if you're going to get kicked out of a class into a different class, it's going to happen show one.
yes,
There's everyone gets
yes.
a trophy right there.
I got a trophy at Rumble. So, thank you, Dina.
Uh,
What's up, Derek?
so is it
Yeah,
half inbred?
yes. Yeah,
Or
half
is it half?
siblings is a line. All right.
I don't know. Half? I mean, it's still her brother. Oh, half brother.
Half
So it'd be
brother, yeah.
same parent, same mother,
One
different
same
father.
parent.
Yeah,
One
one
same
same parent.
parent. If
Are
it's
you still?
litter mates, then it's obviously inbreeding. If
And
it's
depends
father
on
daughter,
right. And depends on how the genetics are handed down. You might not
mhm,
be doubling up on anything.
that's
Yeah,
Or
right.
but like, again, it goes back to the history of the lineage, because it could be an inbreeding if it's happened if they're already tightly bred on those same dogs. I'm saying so. Um,
Yeah.
sometimes. But honestly, Adam, there are times where a judge should send a dog to a different class and they don't. They just let it stay there. But that's tough. It only really happens. The only class we're really talking about is the standard class because you can't send a pocket to a different class. You know what I mean? There is no other class for a pocket. If
right.
it's lacking, it's just lacking. There's no place to put it.
You're
David
right.
must be talking to you too.
Huh? Good
I
evening,
said
gentlemen.
David is talking to the two of you.
Not him. Okay. Yeah, same father. Where do I go to
Uh,
get my dog under the eyes? What? Where do I
where's your
go
next show, Ron?
under the eyes of Mr. Ramos? Okay.
My next show, I actually have one in Southern California. From Southern California, I go to where is it? Westminster, Rhode
Maryland?
Island, Maryland. Oh, there you go, Maryland. And then I go to Puerto Rico to Italy. I refused Africa because I wasn't about to sit in a plane for over 30 hours now. So I
Ooh.
decided not to do Africa. I was supposed to go to South Africa. I turned that down. And I really wanted to go, man. But I'm just an old man now. I don't know if I can do that trip, man.
Mm.
It's a long trip. Where else? That's about it. I don't really have a lot of shows. I'm saying. Um, there's people asking and stuff, but until they actually pull the trigger. I'm not going to mention things that I'm not going to be at.
Right.
I got you. Where did that hour go? Good Lord.
That's what happens when you talk to Mr.
Ramos.
Papa.
Yeah, I'm telling you. All right, so I want to know what about the Midwest, Mr. Ramos? Are you coming to the Midwest?
Not anytime that I know soon, man. I used to do quite a few shows there when I was helping Kev out, you know what I'm saying? But it's been a minute, you know what I'm saying? It's been a long time since I've been to Texas. And I have to say it was very nice because I got to see a lot of old friends, and it was somewhat of a draw for them that, when I came there, a lot of old friends who wanted to come out and see me and talk with me. So I really enjoyed Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I do Texas, it's a lot of fun.
That's why, when they announced you were going to be there, I was like, I have to bring Cowboy.
Oh, I was so excited to see him, man. The first, man, I wish I could see them all because that litter was amazing, man.
Yeah. Well, Westy just said Westminster's an hour from him, so you better stop by the day before.
I might have to do that then. All right.
Yeah, just come early. Come a little early.
I'm gonna tell you right now. The soldier grandkids that are at his place are incredible.
I want to see him so bad. You have no idea, man. I mean, it was so funny, man. When I initially went to Wes's house, they wanted to film me my initial reaction of seeing the dogs, him and F-Dub. And what happened is they had left the door cracked, and I happened to look down that crack of the door, and my jaw dropped. And they go, "Damn it!" Because they wanted to catch me. They wanted me to walk in with the cameras rolling, and I was blown away, man. The entire litter was freaking just absolutely stunning. It was gorgeous, man. Again, that didn't. I think there was one puppy that was looked like a pit bull, and it probably ended up growing to be a beautiful animal as well. But the whole litter was great, man.
Here's your next question, sir.
Okay. Oh my God, who's people that influenced me? Believe it or not, there was. I've always been a fan of a more extreme dog. Even when I was showing in the UKC, I was commissioned to find somebody to create the 1998 national shirt. And I found one of my football players, which was a great artist at the age of 13, and he ended up drawing a dog that I asked him to draw, and it was pretty bully. But my mentors were people like Tilo Bar, people don't know who he is. He was Ruckus Kennels. There was people like Pam Carter. I know Pam Carter for ages. And some of my earlier mentors happened to be game dog breeders. There was a gentleman by the name of Steve Dunleavy that had, real genuine box dogs. I never had the heart to do it, but he was pretty well, renowned person for having champion dogs, that were gladiators. And I could never do it, man. But those were a couple of my mentors, that taught me a lot of stuff. There was people like George Luna, who he was a very good handler, and that's where I learned some of my handling stuff from him. Because mentors, sometimes they come in different stages in your life. So he actually helped me learn a little bit more about handling. Greg Connor was another gentleman that was an AMSTAF person. He taught me, understanding how to control my emotions in the show ring, because when you get excited and you win, that little tug, you may not realize it becomes a hard tug, and the dog takes it as an overcorrection.
Right.
Yeah. So when you're in a show, like at that time, when he was helping me, was a show called the Great Western, which happens to be the second largest terrier show in the U.S. And I just finished winning my class, and I had to go to the next class. And he goes, "Okay, listen, Ron, I see you're excited, you're amped up. When you give that little correction tug, do it at half strength, because now you don't realize your adrenaline's up, and he's going to take it as a bad behavior, and he's going to shut down on you." And I ended up winning Best of Winners, which was a phenomenal thing for me.
Oh, yeah.
It was a big thing for me. I didn't take the whole show, but man, I went pretty far. and I was pretty new in that realm of the AKC. And the AKC is like, the best way I can explain the AKC is like baseball. You know, you have the minor leagues, major leagues, you know, the farm clubs, and when you get to the big show, that's the AKC. I mean, those guys are all seasoned handlers. They're phenomenal. You know, every dog is on automatic over there. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of fun, and I learned so much in the AKC as far as preparation, you know, training and, you know, grooming and so forth. I mean, you'd be amazed at the grooming. There's a day, the day before you're going to the ring, you're grooming the dog the entire day, man. I mean, you're shaving whiskers, you know, you're trimming the hairs along the tuck so it looks like a nice even rolling line. I mean, there's so much you do. It's unbelievable, man.
Yeah, we just knock the dried poop off their butthole before they go in. Be like, there you go.
Hey, don't laugh. I mean, I'm telling you, Raj, I've been to shows in the bully world when I first started, so that judging, and when you go to fill that tail to make sure there's no kink, trust me, man. There have been a few times where I got poop on my hands. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. You know, don't you clean your dog, or you run your hand on a dog and your hand sticks because the fur's so oily and, you know, gritty. It's terrible, man.
It depends on you. How much responsibility can you handle? Are you an organized person? You know, trying to fulfill everyone's need of your dog. It's solely based on you.
Now, I will say, typically,
and the performance of the dog.
Yeah.
If he's very hard, difficult to pull, you may not want to take a lot of lock-ins. But if you can pull him without a teaser, I mean, you got a winning lottery ticket, especially if he's in high demand.
And the other thing is, when you're doing this, believe it or not, I've seen people take crazy amount of lock-ins, and the dog passes away. Now, you know something? Guess what? You didn't take the dog to be collected. You know, so if you have a dog that's much in demand, you better go out there and get him collected and put him and store him. You know, to back up what you're selling, because there's nothing worse than somebody paying for your stud and also you say, well, you know, he passed away and I don't got no, you know, I ain't got no semen on him. You think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing people typically do, and instead of closing the dog, depending, but if a dog's young, then you might close him for a little while, open him back up. But typically, if a dog's more established, the one way to slow them down is to raise the price.
Right.
That will slow
and the other thing is, you know, depending on how well you take care of your dog, and if you actually understand how to take care of your dog, you know, when you start pulling a dog a lot, you're gonna drop the quality of the semen. So if you're not supplementing properly and taking care of the dog properly, you know, you gotta give them some space, some time in between to rest and to regenerate good sperm again. You know, I mean, I'm everybody wants the money, but don't be cheating your clients, man.
No,
you know, you're collecting the dog every other day or every day. You know, you're gonna cheat your clients, and that's not fair to them, man.
Right.
This question here: would you argue that we'll unpack this one sentence at a time. So, would you argue, though, regardless of what the judge feels, right there, the judge is the authority in that moment. So, his opinion is the only one that matters in his ring.
Right.
You can disagree with him, but it don't make any difference. He is the authority in that moment. Now, the other thing you have to understand is they're not going to debate over 1/8 of an inch. They're just not going to do it.
They're not.
They're not. They're going to put the wicket. They're going to set the wicket to 16 inches and put it on that female. And if it looks like it fits, it fits. If it's 1/8 inch off, one judge may call it. One judge, I don't think any judge is going to call 1/8 of an inch. They're just going to call it a standard. I just think that's what it is. But
like I said,
the reason I mentioned that is because so many people, I disagree with what the judge picked, or I disagree about
there's
this.
a way to get away from that. If you don't want to be that close to the max height or minimum height, there's a way. You stack your dog out wider in the front and rear,
right,
to drop the height. If you want to bring the height up, you stack them closer in the front and the rear, and you bring the shoulders up.
And there it is. Like a lot of times, believe it or not, the judge's word is final, man. I mean, um, you can sit there and argue, and you might want to bring a wicket back out and wicket the dog so he can see it in front of everybody. But it's just like these guys are saying. You can manipulate the stack, and
Right.
and I'm not saying it's the right thing, and I'm hoping no judges will do that. But the thing is, though, it's a moot point. You're better off moving on to the next show and doing your thing than to sit there and try to debate with a judge.
Because we're all human, even judges.
We are.
And,
that's exactly right.
And it'd be hard pressed for someone who feels offended to give you a fucking ribbon.
That's the truth too.
I'm being honest.
Yeah, you're 100% right. You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna press me on shit I feel is right, and I'm the authority. I may have found a better dog in the ring, but that's that's all circumstantial.
Here's the other thing. Again, it's circumstantial. The other thing is, it's to the point where you may get there and you debate. He's okay. He'll put you in the ring. In his mind, though, he's already thinking you don't fit the written standard. So guess what?
That's right.
I'm going to go through the process. I'm going to go over your dog. I'm going to do everything the same as every dog, but you're not going to win. Because he's in his mind, he has already said that this dog is at this height or whatever it may be. It's already set in his mind. So and many times you're better off smiling and patting back and thanking him and going forward because the next time around he may look at you differently. And I'm not saying that's the right thing to do because I've been doing this a long time and I don't deviate. I try to do everything. I'm one of those guys of the few that will say, okay, let's bring the wicket out and let's take a look. And if you can convince me there and then we can do this. But if it is right at the time of the show ring, it's too late to debate about it. You should have grabbed me and put me in there before we got to the ring so we could discuss this and maybe I can, correct myself or correct you. But at the time of the ring, when this show is going full blast, time is of the essence. So it's one of those things where your timing is very important as well on a situation like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I think that's the biggest thing of people because everyone is the internet age, right? Everyone's allowed to have an opinion. Well, the ring is not the internet, and you're not allowed to have an opinion. You're allowed to stand outside of it and wait for your dog to come back out.
And that's exactly how I feel. Whether you're on the sideline and you think the decision was right or wrong, you paid for that evaluation.
Yeah.
No matter 100%. What anybody else said outside of that judge, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter.
It's true. Let me see. Do you turn people away because you're not fans of their female? Are you more selective about who your studs get? Apparently have a certain look I like. I have turned down females, but I'm a little more lenient because I know that people are trying to do better, and if they're trying to do better to use my stud, then who am I to say no? Your female's not good enough.
Well, on the same note though, this is the thing, you guys, is. When they refuse you sometimes, they're actually doing you a favor. Yeah. And there's two things. One thing is the stud dog gets everything. He gets the credit. He gets the blame. He gets everything. And I'm a firm believer that he can only do so much. So I don't turn away a lot of females, but they got to have something. You know what I'm saying? You can't bring a stick figure in and, I tell people all the time when they see like Soldier or one of the dogs say, I want a dog just like that, and they bring me a little skinny dog over and I tell them this, that's a penis, not a magic wand. It can't do magic, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of the things where you got to bring something to the table. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, without that penis, her life would not happen.
Yeah, it's pretty magical, but we can't do
it's
miracles.
Pretty magical. I got you.
But the thing is, though, it's a catch-22, and the other thing is, if you're the female owner, don't be offended. Maybe that was for a reason, and it's giving you an opportunity to find something even better. Right. Never look at something as a loss or as a setback. It's just the opportunity to regroup and rethink your next move. So it's one of the things where don't ever, too many people in this dog world get offended too easily, and you can't be that way, because this is a public spectacle. Anytime you put your dog on the internet or a dog something, you're going to get ridiculed. You're going to get the critiques. So don't, if you don't want that, put your dog in the closet and never bring it out. Because the fact of the matter is, when you start putting in public eye, you're going to get the comments you may not like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's true. And if you feel like your female is the final product, then why do you need to breed to that stud, right? That stud offers something that your female lacks. That's why you're drawn to that stud.
Right, you're after something in there, right? 100%. Yeah. And the other thing is, believe it or not, is real breeders, sad to say, were never satisfied. We could have the damn golden goose in our hand, and we'll find a feather out of place. We will find something. So, man, I mean, I'm almost there, but I'm going to do this now. You know what I'm saying? And we may have that golden dog in front of us, and we're just so anal and so driven to create something that's a masterpiece that sometimes we don't understand and see that masterpiece is standing right in our front yard, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we become obsessed with trying to create something that is just perfect. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I guarantee that these gentlemen here with me have probably done breedings, and they have dogs, and they say, well, and then they go back a year later and say, holy shit, man, I really screwed that one up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm guilty of it. You know what I'm saying? I've had dogs that are like, wow, I should have kept them. You know what I'm saying? But it's one of those things where we are constantly pursuing the impossible. I hate to say that, you know what I'm saying? Because we have created the impossible, but we're so driven that we're never satisfied. If that makes any sense.
Well, I mean, that's the beauty of real breeders in a progressive breed, right?
Right.
That we have not seen the final product, right? To me,
sure.
my opinion of the final product, the epitome of American Billy, is a dog that walks in, a dog that walks in the ring and never loses.
Yeah.
Show me that dog, and I'll show you the final product.
Yeah.
And I'll still show you a flaw.
That's fact. It's the truth. Sad to say, it's truth, man. And the other thing, believe it or not, I'll give you an example. You talk about win every time, right? I've had people that get into my show ring and they get very disappointed, right? And I ask them, where does your dog place? Because, every time I go to the show ring, he places, second place, right? And I tell them, I said, you really got to evaluate what's winning. And what I mean by that is, I've seen many a dog win a best in show to never win again. And if you got a dog that's constantly in there and he's constantly in the fight and he's got 3 million second place ribbons, that dog has more consistency and wins behind him than a dog that wins the best in show once in his lifetime. And I lived that moment because I had a dog that I got teased about, and it's so funny. His name was Spanky, and even the judges would come up and say, "Hey, Ron, where's second place Spanky?" Because this guy would win like second place. I mean, I could paint a house with red ribbons, man. Because he got second places everywhere we went. But the thing is, though, in my mind, I was still in the fight, and he ended up winning getting his title of champion. But again, like I said, there's dogs that win a once in a lifetime best in show and never win again. So we really evaluate your stock, because that dog may be valuable. He's that consistent that he is breeding quality.
Right.
That goose in your backyard.
I mean, I am a big fan of what that goose has created. So.
Yesterday it's so funny because he's been seldomly bred. But what he's got out there, I'm very proud of, and that's all that matters to me. I mean, I would like to see more offspring off of him, because I'm excited to see his kids. But then the same token, like any other stud, there's going to be some that are going to be, home runs, and the other one's going to be strikeouts. But he's got a lot of nice animals out there, and I'm really proud of him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm blessed that I've had people like Brian come and use him, and I think Brian did really well with his offspring, and he's done an amazing job.
Mm-hmm.
That's true, Jamie. They will do that. That's anything. That's in general and anything in life. No matter how many great things you do in life, the one thing that will stand out to everybody is the one screw up. And they'll hold you to that for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? And you could have, done a million great things, man. And but you got to move forward and push those people aside, man. And I gotta say, Jamie's been around a long time. I've got the opportunity to work with Jamie for many years. She ended up taking one of my dogs and winning best overall ABKC National Champion Classic. And that dog that she had from me was before a lot of these other dogs were. Jamie took that dog everywhere. It was a UKC champion, I believe. It was a ABA champion. I mean, the dog champed everywhere, and it was probably one of the youngest champions at that time. And on top of that, the dog did bite work, and was her little daughter's best friend, her baby daughter's best friend. So the dog was really well-rounded dog. I mean, it performed everywhere. The dog was beautiful and still alive today, and is an amazing animal, man.
That's awesome. That's
a beautiful dog.
That's amazing.
Somebody keeps getting messages.
Oh, yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Well, we are over. But it has been amazing having you on, sir.
Thank you, guys. I enjoy your show, man. You're one of the few shows that I really enjoy. That it's constructive and it's not a bunch of malarkey. You guys do a great job.
I appreciate that.
Damn, Ronnie's just full of compliments tonight.
Trying to bring value
take it easy,
to the community.
I got to behave on here, man. I get in trouble now. We're live at a show. We can get corny and crazy, man.
Right. No take backs.
Yeah.
No take backs. Yeah. You say something, and 5 months from now, someone can go listen to it and say, "You know what he said?"
Exactly. And here you got to be very cautious. Yeah.
Nah, you just got to not give a shit. Just like, I don't care. You don't like what I said? I don't care.
I get put on the the magnifying glass a lot.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
That's where you should like to stay. Get in the sun, get a little burn. Boom. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap it up. We appreciate you guys tuning in. And I promise, short of some weird shit happening, we will be back next week.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Inconsistent in 25.
See
you, buddy.
Thanks, Ron.
Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, everybody. Have a good evening. We'll see you next week. Later.